babies, you ain't gonna believe this. Oh yeah, and they ain't been talking much about this. Goodness gracious, listen to this here on the Coyote News Network. My goodness golly, over there in Romania, they have discovered what some people, and this was quite a number of years ago, they've kept a lid on it. It's been top secret for a long time. But over there in Romania, somewhere in the middle of the country, near a town named Bell something or another, there's a hollow mountain, babies. You know, whoever the military empire is in the background, that's who's got control over it right now at the moment. However, the Romanians, despite threats against their lives and against their political futures, etc., the Romanian leaders have determined that this will leak one way or the other, and that people will know what's hidden in this hollow mountain. And it's found that this mountain is connected with other mountains through underground tunnels that are quite extensive, that go all the way to China and Iraq. I wonder why. I wonder why them boys are over there in Iraq, huh? Hey, oh my. You see, it's been that way here too in the American Southwest. When they discover a site where people might start to figure out what it's all about, the military kind of comes in, takes over, and says, this is a military reservation now. You know, they even done it in the Grand Canyon, trying to hide away all the relics and stuff they found down in there, man, in some secret caves that aren't so secret, but boy, there's deeper meanings, deeper pleasures. Just like they're finding there in Romania, babies. You wouldn't believe it, so, you know, you got to look it up on the internet. It's on YouTube. It's all over the place. It's just barely coming out too, so we're kind of on the crux edge of it, because it's finally, you know, we're starting to realize again the larger dimensions by which we truthfully live, you know. Starts in those little feelings of knowing, those little moments of awareness, of communion, of recognition of common hearts, common interests, common vibrations, etc. It's a beautiful process, isn't it? Well, this is a little bit bigger picture of it. Because hidden inside of this hollow mountain is a projection system. A whole lot of other magic, too. Oh, my goodness, guys, you wouldn't believe what's there. But, you know, like I said, we're just getting the first whiff of what's really there. But what we've heard so far is that there is like this pyramidal-shaped thing in this grand hall where there's seating for lots and lots and lots of people. And, I mean, you got to remember, it's a hollowed-out mountain. It's gigantic. There's light everywhere. They don't need lights. There's no visible source of light. It's a pretty incredible installation. Been sitting there for probably a gazillion years, or at least a million years, waiting for humanity to discover it again. And then, you know, for the military people to dissolve away so the truth can be known. And this is exactly what's happening. So the lid's coming off of it one way or another, despite military resistance, you see. But the resistance is dying down, too. They're awful confused over on that side now, because they still see their mission is to keep the people away from their true dynamic and enslave them further, you know. That's what they see their true mission of. The leaders of the empire, let's say, and those who manage, you know, the various levels of it. But they're all also, because of conscious presences coming back to life in this life, as human beings, well, then every human being is affected by that. And that's having a pretty profound effect in the military establishment, both in the top secret departments and those more visible and present on the surface that do the dirty work, you know. Oh, poor guys. Hey, you got our sympathies, all of you guys who've been out there trudging away for the corporate reality, you know. And we got to pay honor and duty and respect to you today for, you know, being willing to surrender your life to what you saw as a cause for a higher good. But now, wink, wink, you know a little better, don't you? You're not a bedwetter. You're not a crybaby. But guess what? Next time they give the command, go into this here land and invade these people and blah, 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 you ain't going. And I'm glad you've been showing that to them, too. We would have been up to our eyeballs in World War III by now if a few humble souls in uniform hadn't refused service in Syria. Just a few months back, maybe a year ago. I don't know. Wasn't that long ago. I think this installation in Romania that now is being quietly revealed on the internet. You're not going to find this in mainstream press anywhere. But in this gallery, this pyramidic thing, it's kind of crystalline looking, but there's certain presences, human presences, that when they touch parts of it, it exhibits that segment of human history and gives it a time frame by the arrangement of star charts, etc. I'm sure the real discovery is far broader than that, but that's what we know of so far, that the entire history, the true history of humanity, lived at this larger level, is written down, let's say, in this projection machine. Been sitting there, let's say, for 1,000,000 years. That's the estimate I think I read somewhere along the way as I was checking out the various news breaks about this to get it your way. You know, I do my research, baby, so you can do yours too, man. And we get it all together. Of course, the angels tip us off all the time here on the Coyote News Network, don't they? Yeah, in your life too, baby, just like they're doing right now, see. Because there is a similar installation here on the American continent, as we call it, Turtle Island, as I call it. And down south, I mean, there's installations all over this earth of a similar nature. And of course, those that work in super secret compartments of the background have had an awareness of many of these, but not all of these. They search feverishly for them so they can shut them down, keep them away from the people. But see, like I say, the desire to be like that is dissolving away. The empire is coming apart at the seams because people are finding a calmer presence in themselves, for starters. Then a little larger form of conscious presence. That's the real news. This other is just window dressing that really reiterates what we already know and gives it a concrete foundation in this reality. 3D, yeah. So you can rise through it and see what's really going on once again, babies. You get the inside scoop here all the time, right from the heart of the divine, babies, inside of your own little sweet hide. It calls forward every little ride we're taking here on this Coyote Medicine Show, and on this segment of the Coyote Medicine Show called the Coyote News Network, which is a sporadic moment that will just pop up every now and again when we think something newsworthy is going on in this reality. So you can live your life with a fullness and a vitality that you ain't felt in such a long time, because these things are, if nothing else, encouraging to the bulk heart of humanity. We know now that we're making the breakthroughs that Queen could only dream about back there 30 years ago when that, or 40 years ago when that song first came out. I can't keep track of time, can you? It was a while ago. But just like all this great rock and roll tunage here on the Coyote Medicine Show, it lives forever, man, and is forever written in our heart, same way our true history is written in many secret chambers around this earth, hidden away. But what's being hidden is being revealed this day, and more is coming forth. See, there's an energy and a power. Once humans connected, like with an installation like that hollowed mountain in Romania, you see, one of the people there, one of the Romanian people there, has the magic. 3 or 4 people walked up to this energetic barrier, you know, in a tunnel there that kept people out, and they died touching it. Soldiers like, you know, poor guys. But this guy, he walks up to it and touches it, it opens. He walks up to that projection machine, it turns on and starts projecting the memories of our true eternal heart that's alive in every moment that we live. You see, that's the source of the calmness coming through now. You can fight and resist, you can run, you can't hide. Generals weep tears now for some of the things they've done, for some of the things they've said, for some of the skullduggerous plans they've carried out. They knew better. They just couldn't help themselves. They were caught up in the glee and insanity of the powerful greed that arises in such souls when they sell out, more or less, don't you know? But see, that's the illusion here. Nothing's been sold and nothing's been purchased. When you know the true history of the human heart inside yourself, when you're living it, you can't be taken advantage of. You can't be taken to the cleaners, and the cleaners can't be taken to you either. You see, you're in the flow of life. There is no such level of living it in that way, you know. And as such, we're filled with forgiveness in our own sweetheart for ourselves, first and foremost. As God knows, we've all been through it, haven't we? Each and every one of us has committed some kind of tragedy in her life quite inevitably, not by deliberation, but by instigation of a stumbly old heart. But out of that disaster comes triumph. Out of tragedy comes the greatest moments of love there can ever be. This is our human history. And this is what we learn from it as we begin to remember it. See, for as this stuff is awakened inside of these secret chambers, the same awareness, because it's energy, see, the true level at which we live, the energetic life, the loving flow, as I call it, that is tremendously influenced by revelations such as this. So that man touches the little crystalline projector in that grand hall of love inside of that righteous little mountain over there in Romania, and here comes awareness, cosmic awareness to the same extent and levels in many human beings across the earth, and of those that are tuned into it in a vibrational harmonic sense, and then from them projecting outward to all the other levels of existence in humanity, which kind of equals out the levels as it goes along. So it goes basically from the top down and the bottom up in terms of where we live in reality of 3D. But in reality of truth, the divine family of the original hearts of humanity, that first family, and there's quite a story there too. Maybe we'll get into some of that later on today. We'll see how this day goes on this Free Day Friday. But just knowing this, knowing that such a thing does exist, and that's probably, you know, by some people's editorial opinions that I've read on the internet, why Iraq was invaded and 911 was created, to give them an excuse to do the invaded. And there's probably something to do with Algeria too and Pakistan, or they wouldn't be messing around there. You know, there's always something more going on, and there's always somebody trying to shut the door while others are quietly there just with a humble heart, like this sweet little Romanian man that is revealing this discovery because it's in his heart to do so. And the Romanian government, let's put our hearts with them. They stand strong and reveal. Tell the military empire, sorry, but, you know, you're not in command here. We are. Etc. You know what I mean. Let us all flow in the same direction. Let us all sing the song of our heart in our own sweet way. That's the harmony we live in. That's the cosmic reality of every moment we're given to live. No matter how disconvoluted it may seem, or convoluted, upside down, backward, shaking your tail, giving you hell, you know, excruciating down, like we started the show with this morning. I got nothing, but I got me. I got a heart, I got a nose, I got eyes, I got rhythm and motion, babies. I am life on the ocean of love, and I know how not only to survive, but to thrive, because my heart's alive, no matter what the condition. Ooh-wee. Baby, if you're all the way down, it's only up from here, and that's beautiful, man. It's fun to fly, fun to learn how to fly. Remember how it is to float in your own spatial reality and feel the resonance of life surrounding you. That's the true magic in the human heart. We've been tricked out of it. But in this time of transfiguration, as we begin to remember our more cosmic levels of experience, well, quite naturally we begin to live in that more cosmic way. That's the news today here on the Coyote News Network, an exclusive feature of the Coyote Medicine Show. Where else but the ever-loving, sweethearted, Hazy Radio Network. Yeah, the sunrise coming up inside our soft, sweet little hide as we listen to KC and the Sunshine Band here on the Coyote Medicine Show. We rock, we roll from all the way from the 50s to the 90s and then some, don't you know. Even got some 30s tucked away here and there, man. But babies, whew, it's cool, it ain't square, 'cause we are here, not there. Right now, we're living in the and how of what we're doing in this moment of time. Sharing a moment is quite divine. A sharing of the heart, a sharing of truth, which we all inside have been begging for since in our youth, since we were tiny, tiny little children and had to step away from it. There's been that pain and separation that we're resolving, you know, with the instigation of the full presence of our person. In other words, yeah, really, we're just giving ourselves a hug and saying, Thank you, thank you, thank you for being me and the assemblage that I are in this reality. And then you start to feel your unified connection with the hearts around you. And then you don't feel so conflicted anymore, even when conflict's around you, you know. I live in a troubled little town sometimes, some ways, you know. There's lots of, you know, always there's a little instigation to keep you moving, keep you looking, and keep you wanting to change things, you know. Well, you'll find that inside yourself reflected. And when you deal with that little bit of aggravation, you start to get down to the source of it. You deal with it kind of in a communicative sort of way. You just let your heart soften it up. See what's really inside there to play. Ooh, it's good when you're out in nature and got the time and the weather's good. It's such a unity feeling. Dust in the wind, man. You're one little speck of dust absorbed into the absorption of the land of nature, the land of dreams, the land of creation, when the sun and the earth and the sky work together with the ocean of love to bring forward life, and there you are living it. What a beautiful, perfect place to be in, babies. You see, that's our reality and our truth. That's what things like this installation in Romania can only suggest to us. They're there as aids and helpers, these things such as these reminders of our past and our future and of our present. So we finally start to catch on at last. It boggles our sweet little mind to try and stretch into our true history. You know, because it's just so far beyond what's been told to us, you know. And it is cosmic, and very much so, you know. We've been the grand experiment of life recreating itself in the beautiful forms that we are living right now as the presence that we are in the and how. And transforming it even as we realize that. We're here at service, in service, to the universal heart of love that lives inside of us, babies. And that's where the source of self-love begins. When we realize that, when we can really embrace that heart and be that heart and say, baby, I love your way. To yourself, I mean. Baby, I love your way. And I like the way I'm painted in here. I like the way that my particular version gets it clear. Yeah, sometimes it's tricky, and sometimes I get bucked off and have to get back on, etc. But by golly, I was a cowgirl extraordinary, cowboy too, man. And we're one with that animal we're riding, this life we're living. And we hear the audience cheering, man, because we got it tamed down now. We got it figured out. We're just on the last few little bumps of it, man. You see, and things like that installation over there in Romania that we spoke of just a few moments ago on the Coyote News Network here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, I might add. Ooh, the grand heart of love emotion right here at hazyradio.com. But see, those things, oh, thank goodness they're there. It's kind of like little seeds we planted in the way back when and the way ahead again, too. Because, see, as we begin to experience the full presence of our true creation cosmically, at the level at which it's truthfully lived, the energetic way, as the creative heart we are, well, then we see the amazing mystery of present, past, and future, and how they work together right now to create this moment in history and unravel just the right aspect of the mystery so that we can catch on and get it on and begin living our life in a far more sacred way. You know, it starts with the attitude of gratitude. I mean, you know, I don't care how good or bad you got it. You know, there's always that conflicting, that emptiness, that thing that says I will never be fulfilled. I want my desires fulfilled. They never will be fulfilled. Well, babies, what's going on right now, eh? Aren't we embracing that naughty little child inside that thinks it's never going to get what it wants and showing it that it's already got what it's getting? See, that's the effect of unity. As you feel unity coming from outside yourself, you notice that you drew that by being more unified inside yourself. This is when you begin to feel the more fuller connection with life. And you take little moments like those sweet ones we spoke of a little while ago, where there's a moment of recognition, a truth, given energetically, Something you feel, something you see with your sparkly little eyes, something you feel in your heart. It's amazing how it can just leap right out of your chest, more or less, so to speak. And boing, oh my goodness. And then it kind of fades, but you don't forget. And you see that moment now, you see the end, how. And then you start to expand on that feeling that you had right there, that recognition. And you start to recognize a unity in your entire life. That energetically you're connected with it all. That every bit of it that we're living and every bit of it we're given, we're doing so because that's our assignment here. That's what we want to do. We want to find our full presence in creation. This is what's driven us berserko since day one. Back in the you-know-when it became male and female and started genderizing and polarizing, you see. It was a pretty medieval process. But we've had that cosmic way. You can't think when you're alive. You can go through experiences. And you can guide and direct yourself from the heart in a silent, quiet sort of way that only you are going to find out. After a while, you got to go through it deftly, dumbly. At first, you can't even hear the music of life anymore. You're so isolated. See, so that replicates in our life. No matter our status in this life, or how we're living it, there's always that uncomfortable feeling. It says, I ain't quite there yet. Well, that aggravation's there to urge us on. It brings forward primal urges that sometimes get a little bit diverted, don't they? And it goes this way, and it goes that way, and it goes that way. But that's just how you find out you can't fulfill yourself in the external reality, because that's basically fighting your way in, or trying to charm your way in, or some other clever, manipulative way, whatever it is. You see, and that doesn't behoove you. You're creation. You're the living life. You don't have to work it that way. Any of us. And I'm speaking to myself because I'm still just catching on. Right along with you. See how mutual our experience is? Even though we be separate by gazillions of miles, and even more so philosophically. We're connected here in the base urges, essences of our heart. See, and I used to feel a lot of division here myself, because this person did that kind of practice, and that person did that kind of practice. I've learned not to be so unreal about it, to be a little mellower about it. Doesn't mean I'm going to go participate, but it means I accept what others create and the journey that they're on and the path they've created for themselves. And I embrace them for it, say more power to you, because I know in my heart, because I'm coming back to life in my own sweet way, everyone else is too. And that we've all taken on various dosages here of the light and the dark, the polarity, to work it out, to bring it together cosmically, So that's what we've been doing, whether we see it now or not. All through this life, since the moment of separation, when you first, get into the polarity and realize you got to deal with it again. And this happens when you're just a baby. Well, then, ever since then, it's been a process of bringing that back to the center. And we go through all kinds of experience in the human realm to accommodate the heart's desire. And we act out on the heart's desire all the time. You see a little house in the mountains, you really want to live there. You start creating that dream for yourself and going to work in the physical reality to bring it into being, you see. That's how we've lived. I know every good thing that ever came, and bad things too. A lot of, I can't say good and bad. Every bit of experience that I've lived, I remember having dreamt in some way and brought it into being. Sometimes it'd just be I needed to get a job for a while, and I didn't want to, have to restrict myself in the way that others do. So I'd go find something really sweet, and then I would see myself being that. And you know what? It created an irresistible force. And I was hired on. Of course, I had a good reputation, and, I knew what I was doing, and, was quite professional with whatever it was. Or I was a good bullshitter, could really get in the door and then learn it as I go. And I was really good at that, too. Just like you see. We're the adaptable beings, and why we've been through such extreme lives and felt so much of the presence of the emptiness is to motivate us through the experience we needed to reacquire the life. From the cosmic way. See, that's how we were bringing the poles together inside of ourselves. And, we even reminisce about the polarity now because we're feeling so much more gathered, huh? You see? Oh my God, I used to like it when it was that way. But see, we're not giving up nothing. The magic sparkle that reconnects us with life, through each other's person, through the experience we live, through the earth around us, etc. You know, the grand nature of our experience brings us back to life. I mean, there's no two ways about it. So conscious presence comes forward in every being that lives. There's a few of us live it, then a few more, then a few more, then a few more. That's how we open the door, but it does reach that cosmic moment. Maybe it's today, maybe it's right this moment, maybe it's 3 weeks from now, maybe it's Saturday, maybe it's Sunday. I don't know, Saturn's a powerful day, and that's what the cosmic mix say. Saturn, that's the way we play. Oh, we're letting go of the calendaric reality. We're letting go of time. Yeah, I know it seems unusual, but you know, how else you going to put an end to all this life and death and all the misery and suffering that goes with it? I mean, you know, haven't you reached that point where, well, this is enough. I don't want to do this anymore this way, but I ain't dying. You know, I want to live it in physical form. I want to have it cool. I want it the way my heart has always dreamt that it could be, and that I've always worked to get. And that I've been through so many different things in so many different ways, so many different moments to get me here. Well, finally I see my desire clear. And I find it's not really a desire at all. It's a fire. It's a flame inside of my heart that's softening me up and helping me open up and get it clear. That's the nature of us. Human beings, colorful ones that dance in the sky, dance in the earth, and then make love with a long sigh. Celebrate your life and recreate it while you're doing so. Babies, that's the medicine of your heart and soul. Coyote is all get up. We trick ourselves into it continually. See, people think if you adopt the coyote way, then you're adopting the tricky way. Sure, but life is tricky. It's seeing the joke beyond the trick, seeing the higher level, the conscious presence in it all. That's so delighted to be there, living it, loving it, dancing its way through it, man. And how? See, we all have our little element to work out. Some of us get a lot larger dose than others. That's a beautiful thing. You know, I mean, and we learn to balance it out. No, balance it out. There ain't no balancing. We learn to live it out. To go to the extreme, pull that extreme back into the center of our being. Little by little, step at a time, going through life. And if you look now, the cosmic way says you've done that. And that's the course of human history, too. And each life reflects the larger picture. Human history began the same way. We immediately stepped, when we came into this phase of being, we immediately stepped into polarity and went to the extremes with it. Crazy shit when you start to remember it. And babies, it'll be coming through you all weekend long, because after all, this is Free Day Friday here on the Coyote Medicine Show. And here we are getting in that flow, that glow, that life that we really live, don't you know? On the Hazy Radio Network, the very center of your universal heart. Man, you can take an energy drink of Hazy Radio any time of the day or night, man. Baby, you'll find your wings fuzzing out and taking flight. We got a lot of good shows. Cosmic is all get out all day long, really, man. This is one of the most cosmic networks, if not the most cosmic network around. So, baby, you know, check out some of our other shows, especially, oh, goodness. You know, I try to remember everything, and I just got to stay in the flow. But let me just tell you, we got some sweethearted hosts. Zita's coming back come this May. She is the founder and operator of our universal network heart here that we call Hazy Radio Network. And she got her own show coming up here, I think starting towards the end of May, man. So be watching for that. She'll be doing some awesome things. She loves Tunaj just like we do, baby. She loves the human existence just like we do, baby. And she knows how to expand on it in an enlightened and paranormal sort of way, eh? So, baby, you'll be delighted to see her coming back. I know I am. Shoot you up. Feel like I got the network back together again. I had to hang on for a while out here on the edge of the clouds, man. Without Zeta, it felt empty. See, there's that emptiness again, and there's a place to assign it. So I'll take and pay attention to it and bring myself back to life. Start to realize I already got it. And see, that's where I've reached to a certain extent. Well, in fact, to the fuller extent even now, right here in this presence of this moment, more content with what I have. more content to carry on, more content to be what I am right here in this moment, with any perceived flaws and imperfections just melded right into the rest of me, It's all cosmic. Through imperfection we realize perfection. Purr, pet me, love me, perfection. So you guys always misunderstand that word. You think it means something's precise and beautiful and has no flaws. How are you going to learn anything without a few flaws, without a few bumps and waves and weaves in the wind and the ocean and the air and the atmosphere and the earth too? You've got to have a little bit of color in life, man. Yeah, a little bit of, go here, go there. Hell, even a torment once in a while. Man, out of torment comes the need not to be tormented, man. If nothing else, and it brings that to us. That's because we are the creative heart, and through such moments, we realize the magic. It sets ourselves free to be the entirety of this creation, and then we no longer function from this world of need, emptiness, born of a weird desire. We found the fulfillment because we never were separated in truth. Little by little, we've been training ourselves back into that throughout the presence of our cosmic history. And even now, as it seems like the polarity swung over that way, well, it always is a big swing. Notice, there hardly ever, even in the dumbass history taught to you, there's hardly ever a time where it centers up and everybody gets peaceful and vibrational harmonic. It's always a little that way, or a little that way, or a little that way, or a little that. There's 7 directions in 3D. And then there's the cosmic surround and all of that creates the 7 directions. How much further do you want to go? Shit, we can take it as far as we want to, but this is the beginning point. And we had to season ourselves into it. And that's what we've done, babies. And now we can have a lot of fun under the sun by being the sun. And dancing with the light as the unity between the earth, the Mother Earth, and her son, S-U-N. You see, that's your genderization right there. Sun and earth. Contained by what? Sky. Always that third element, baby. Who creates the sky? The sun? No. The sky would be there even if the sun wasn't. It just wouldn't look the same now, would it? But it's still there. And as we start to realize, this unity, this childlike heart inside that shows us that we are the invention of creation. That's why I call us the children of the universe. We are the invention of creation. We are the ethereal, fleshly, recreated robots in a sense that were sent here with a programming that says, here's something for you to resolve. Here's a scrambling of your history, your brain, your heart, such as you've never seen before. Now, what you going to do with that? You going to make something out of that? We rolled up our sleeves and touched ourselves on the heart and says, oh, hell yeah! And we're still just that enthused, even as we get to the end of the trail, which begins us again, a whole new life. Because if you're at the end of the trail, you're at your destination, baby. And that's where life just begins. Party's on at our place here at the Coyote Medicine Show, and they're inside of you, don't you know? Because we're setting each other free on a free day Friday, ain't we, man? Ooh. Oh, we got a special treat for you right now, man. You get your ears tuned up. Maybe you better maybe you better have a little toke of MJ so you can experience this one expansively, okay? Oh, yeah. There. Now I'll share that elegant high with you, man, and you'll get this one multi-dimensionally in the cosmic way. There's a reason why they call me the Universal DJ and Pope Mary J. Besides Grandpa Coyote on the Coyote Medicine Show on the ever-loving life we call the Hazy Radio Network, man. Feel it, baby. It's real.